Welcome to Rome for a very special festival. A warm welcomes go to all the residents of the Accademia, to their teachers, and to the RIFTA, which is an association of postgraduate students in Italy, as well as to all the other Italian colleagues coming from different regions. Our aim is to build up an extraordinary event and to get the best from our plenary speakers, as well as from over 100 professionals who will present in different sections of this international conference. We wish that in these 3 days, speakers and participants will share competence and professional experiences in the spirit of friendship and curiosity to honor a real festival on children, on a contest of joy and creativity. The Accademia della Psicoterapia della Famiglia, together with our International Scientific Committee, has been working very intensely on this project for more than 1 year. And your presence here today is the best gift for the incredible job we did to organize a conference in 4 languages with 1,000 people. 6 years ago, we were even braver in organizing from Rome an international conference in Oaxaca, beautiful colonial city in the southern region of Mexico, on the topic working with disadvantaged families and communities. With the colleagues who were there, and some of them are here today, in the following years we have been often taught of the Oaxaca experience, a sort of magic atmosphere where the soul was touched more than the brain. And people during the presentation were crying more than taking notes. People were crying not out of despair, but because of the hope and the resources elicited and found by many communities living in the most dramatic human conditions, together with very special professionals. This is a different context. We are in the center of Europe, and we don't know yet which emotional responses we might get from the audience. But we suggest that the speakers, all the speakers, will present their most relevant personal professional work in a no formal, no academic fashion, making children and adolescents alive, and keeping children and adolescents alive during these 3 days, more than themselves. We choose to celebrate the 20 years of the Accademia di Psicoterapia della Famiglia by reflecting together with all of you on children and adolescents at risk in so many different parts of the world. Abuse, neglect, lack of protection, isolation, losses, chronic diseases, family cut-off, addiction, forced immigration, violence, bullying. Many different forms of children unhappiness and deep suffering, connected to family dilemmas and social injustice, will be reenacted in these 3 days. At the same time, we like to know more about the outstanding and creative experience of many of you in your own countries, in order to build up a real network of excellent practices. We decided to hold this conference in honor of Salvatore Minucci, and you see his picture is in your program, who would have liked very much to be with us these 3 days. He made a real effort to come, but at the very end he figured out that at 92 years old, a long trip to Rome was too taxing for him. He will be here in spirit and hopefully through Skype at the end of this plenary session. His presence will confirm the need for young generation to count on solid example from the past to get inspired in the present and guided in the future. But family therapists and systemic theories never gave too much credit to the past. They invent any 10 years the new past and forget the beginning. The past, for me at least, was the enthusiasm and innovative thinking called systemic of many pioneers in the field of family therapy and allied professions, for example, social community psychiatry, just to mention one, who dedicated their professional life to children and family at risk. The past from the early 60s was, for example, Nathan Ackerman, and this refusal to look at children in distress, isolated from family links and other conflict. This was a dilemma 50 years ago, and this is the same dilemma today, to isolate children from family and community and to take them as our patient. The past was Israel Zweli, who in the 70s introduced social psychiatry in US, and the attention to the poor and to the rejected people in the neighborhood as well as in the prison system. The past was, of course, Salvatore Minucci, a fundamental presence in the field, who chose to abandon psychoanalytic circles to dedicate 65 years of his professional careers to children of despair, always with the firm motivation to transform family discrimination and social injustice in pathways of hope and concrete changes. The past were also Virginia Satir and Carl Whitaker, who spent a life showing through their work the importance of non-verbal communication and body language in a special form of therapy based on a deep interpersonal experience. The past in my country was Franco Basaglia, a social psychiatrist who made a revolution in psychiatry, but even more in our parliament, by signing a law that closed our unhuman mental hospital in 1978, allowing for a very solid psychotherapeutic cultures to emerge after that in Italy and in Europe as well. Personally, I'm not a nostalgic, but I learned not only how to do from my teachers. I took them as strong voices to carry with me during all my professional life. This allowed me to keep coherent and consistent with a few strong and non-negotiable ideas I never changed in 45 years of clinical and teaching experience. I paid a big price in living child psychiatry here in Rome in the early 70s by refusing to look at children as patients and to treat their problems alone, without the presence, the resources, and the commitment of their families. I was proud to be a systemic therapist by working with delinquent adolescents in public school in the South Bronx, and doing home visiting with the crisis intervention team in the roughest section of New York and South Philadelphia. And all of that guided my work for almost 40 years. I believed and still believe in family therapy, only at one condition: if the word family comes first and is rewarded and respected, and the word therapy comes second, and is just a professional service for people in desperation. It doesn't become an expression of institutional power and arrogance. We professionals cannot dictate people's life a standard solution for their health and recovery. a reality often hid or disguised as evidence-based or scientifically proved. Our presence as professionals in the Western world today, and especially the presence of many families in need, is full of strict protocols and bureaucracy. The emotional consequences of life events are often transformed in psychiatric syndromes. Look at sadness, one of the most common human conditions, which can easily be transformed into depression as pathology and very quickly medicated with antidepressant pills. A traumatic loss is another example. Might be included in our category of post-traumatic stress disorder and becomes easily an illness with consequent medication. Why the DSM-4, inspired by the American Psychiatric Association, has to tell people in any part of the globe what is the right time to mourn an important loss in a person's life. And after 6 months' time, it becomes a pathological mourning. Or why an hyperactive child has to get the diagnosis that we know so well, ADHD, with the consequent labeling at home and at school, a use of heavy medication, knowing that our diagnostic profiles are needed more for insurance payment and of our services than for real medication conditions. We have to be aware that teachers in school don't know anymore how to handle children who don't behave. Because in our society, every child has to conform to rules and norms, more than to be understood and encouraged in his or her creativity and personal skills. A marriage is in deep crisis. So many marriages are in deep crisis. 2 young kids manifest psychosomatic disorders. If this family lives in a wealthy society with very efficient social delivery services, it is very possible that each of them will risk ending up in some form of individual psychotherapy. It is not crazy? Is it not crazy? How can we change this planned form of family disintegration? Immigrant families are even more at risk because they are often requested to accommodate to our Western standard of life and education, with no appreciation and curiosity for their values, histories, tradition, resources. These are only some of the issues we are going to debate in this fantastic 3 days with the symbolic idea to sign a new constitution for children and families, from children and family rights, as well as a new statute for appropriate professional intervention. Hippocrates was very wise when he understood a long time ago that the most important things for doctors, the most important thing is not to damage. Before ending my speech, I like to thank. We have an Italian expression that I like very much, called grazie mille. I don't even know where this comes from, which captures the sense of deep gratitude. Therefore, grazie mille to the plenary speakers who accepted to come to Rome and to present for free, donated their time and experience for a conference based on generosity and support. The sponsor institutions, there are not many, but they have been very nice, which are listed in the last page of our program. Their donation and support allowed us to invite a few speakers from emerging countries and to support the heavy expenses of this conference. Grazie mille to the International Scientific Committee of the Accademia who has been helping us in shaping and organizing this conference. But the biggest grazie mille goes to Pierina, Laura, Maria Chiara, and Elisabetta, my very special staff at the Accademia. Without their daily work, which is sometimes also night work, especially these days, and dedication, this event will never be possible. Thanks to 25 young students or fresh graduates in psychology at the La Sapienza University who are the staff of this conference in order to make your staying at the Seraphicum University more comfortable. A last thanks go to several bilingual family therapists coming from different countries who will act as voluntary consecutive translators together with the professional interpreters. Finally, thanks to the more than 100 speakers who will present in the different sessions of this conference, and of course, grazie mille to all of you, to all the participants. Thank you.
Very well, Maurizio. Now we are. You did very well. You stayed nice in time. So I'm very proud about you. Very proud.